Aggro. I'm currently witness number 7 on the Steem blockchain. This is the Minnow Town Hall. It is a production of MSP-Waves, and I'm excited to go bring on a guest. But before we do, I want to play my totally dope intro that Soundwave Photon put together for me.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
And now, coming to you from the classiest radio station on the air, this is
Minnow Town Hall.
Minnow Town Hall. All right, here's Daisy Doot, who is also known as Azaria the cat, Azaria mother of cat, and the Cheez-It lady. Azaria, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, that is not Cubby. You
I was channeling Cubby for a minute.
You were missing like 8 octaves of enthusiasm to
I know, right? It's like the end of the night. Azaria, hello.
All right. So, Zaria, how are things? How are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I had a fun day. I got to go hang out with Ron. I got to hang out with his girl, Erin.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear about it. So I'm not going to stay on long. I don't really have anything to say. Just wanted to say hi. I want to hear about the Geet. But one thing we could talk about is what's that thing we're going to do with the...
Oh, Steem at Musicians Forum kind of thing?
Yeah,
Live music?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Oh God, Team Steem. That is not a healthy thing to do. Oh, you bastard. Okay. So what have I got here? So I asked Azaria if she wanted to go co-host with me a live music performed by Steemian's host show thing. So I've done 2 witness forums. I did a Steamification of social media. I want to do an art forum. I want to go do a music forum. I want to go put together Queens of Steem, Successful Ladies of the Steem Platform Forum. I was thinking of like a Meet the Minnows kind of thing. It could be Meet the Mods. It could be Meet some Minnows. I know Cubby's done some really good work with trying to introduce brand new Steemians, so I could see doing like a Meet some new folks. I don't know. What did you do, team? You made a contest to go find my likeness. People are gonna put like piles of dog shit and then meme them and say it's me. You can't. I don't know. I'm just. Shane's in the room. Shane is gonna go find evil ways to distort what I look like or whatever. So. Anyways, back to my lady guest here. The goal I think is you've been doing a lot of stuff with the Steem musicians, and you have an audience there, and I would like to help them. I would like to take the accounts that I've been building and the stuff here, and I'd like to give them a place to showcase their talent live.
Yeah, sounds cool. So, all the musicians. Oh yeah, there you go, Louis C.K. I think that may be the winner.
It's either, I mean, at least it's not Zach Galifianakis morphed with like a grandma meme.
Hey man, Louis C.K. is my favorite comedian. So.
He's very funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Any musicians out there? Oh, so I saw you had it scheduled for February 10th.
Yep. Does that work for you?
Musicians? Yeah, sure. Musicians of Steem.
Yeah.
So what we're hoping for is for some live performances.
Correct.
Now, what about some people don't perform live? Can they play a song like Soundwaves? Do you perform live? I don't know that he does. So is this only live music?
It is my intention that it's live music. I guess he could be, if he comes on live to say, here is my music, and then he chooses to play music that he has pre-recorded. I don't know if that is disqualified or not. I mean, I
I
mostly wanted a live performance. So if he has a way to like mix some of this stuff live or something, then I'm okay with it.
All right, that sounds cool. So yeah, I'll put together a post and we'll put it up on Minnow support this week and get people signed up for it and get
Okay.
it going.
I don't
All
know
right.
if there's any musicians in here, but if you're a musician, then and you'd like to perform live on a panel like my Saturday morning big event slot, then I'd love to have you on here. The only thing I'm really not excited about is an overpowered mic. So you got to make sure that you have like a decent internet connection and a mic that can handle your big vocals. And as long as that works, then I look forward to having some folks live with me.
Yep, sounds good to me. All right, talk about, I guess, because I don't really get to talk to you that much. So it's not like, we just weren't on the radio together last night. So
Yeah. Well, last night was like just a crazy word vomit show. It's the first time that I showed my face on like one of these and like just constant image spam. Thank you, Shane Welker. It's very hard to concentrate when shit like that is going on.
I know, but that was really an amazing meme
Yeah.
that he put together.
There's some pretty
So,
good ones. There's some pretty good ones. All right.
all right,
I'm gonna
cool.
go bring
All right, good
Clay on.
night, everyone.
Good night,
Okay,
Azara. Thanks for coming on.
bye.
Bye. All right, next up we got Claiborne. Claiborne, ladies, cover your ears because this guy's got a deep, sexy voice. Claiborne, how you doing this evening?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty good. I was seeing you still on the radio, and I was like, I need to come read Aggro some love poetry.
Love poetry. Is it directed to me or just it's love poetry towards
Yeah, yeah.
something?
Me and Team Steem were actually working together, and we did no.
Team, Team Steam's love poetry might not be acceptable for
No,
the
no,
Minnow Mayor Town
mine's a
Hall.
little bit different.
All right. Is this backhanded or is it actually filled with love?
No, Aggro, it's totally love poetry.
All right.
I had to come read it to you.
Okay. I will brace for impact. Here we go.
Okay, you ready for this?
I don't know.
Another night dreaming of what I'd do if I were just a bit closer to you. All of these thoughts that keep you on my mind feel like ley lines between your world and mine. Energies unfurl like tectonic shifts, shaking my awareness toward the rifts, chasms of reasons that lead me to doubt that we could survive digging our way out. Drawn to you like a tide towards the shore, knowing there's iron in all of this ore. Somewhere in my core, I know this is love, and all the rest we can rise above.
That's nice. Yeah.
So, so, what you doing Friday night?
I mean, Netflix and chill.
I'm down.
All right. I mean, I think that's where we go. That's pretty good,
Okay.
man. I'm never shocked when your poetry is good. There's a Minnow kicking in with some. That was lovely. It was lovely. Yeah, my family and friends have been talking about the hard times, that the hard times are coming. I feel better knowing that there's cryptocurrency to fall back on as a thing, but um, I personally think that it's not indefinite before we start seeing major fiat currencies crash. So there's definitely going to be some shit to dig our way out of.
Yep.
So yeah, you can be in my bunker, buddy. We can survive the zombie apocalypse together.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
I
Let's
actually
do it.
so I don't know if I created this term. Maybe it was Danny, but I like the term apocalyptimist of like I actually think that the world is going to change for the better. Apocalypse being a noun that describes the great unveiling. So I think that there's going to be a great unveiling of how the world actually works, which is very different than what we've been led to believe. And I think it might cause a shit ton of chaos, but I think that we are heading towards a better future. So I am an apocalyptimist, and I don't know, should be fun. Let's see where it goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been training an army of alpaca lips, and like that's my special alpaca apocalypse defense force. So as soon as the apocalypse comes, you just let me know. You're gonna see like 1 million alpacas just flood the streets, and then they're gonna save us all.
Nice. All right. Um, well, I'm getting sleepy, so I very much appreciate the poem. That was very thoughtful. I'm glad that you read it here. I'm glad that it didn't tear me a new one in backhanded compliments. I wasn't quite ready to get roasted this evening. That was quite thoughtful, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I would never roast you publicly, Hagrid. Come on.
People can roast me publicly. I mean, as long as it's done, there's a fine line in a roast. Um, I guess I just have to know that the person that's doing it actually is not like angry at me at the time that they write it, because then, I mean, it still might be funny, but I don't know. That was lovely. Thank you.
Okay, have a nice night.
All right. So, second to last guest here is going to be Team Steem. I'm getting sleepy, so I'm gonna cut down on the flowery intros. Let's just get Team Steam on here. Let's get the enthusiastic hello. Let's get a quick convo so we can
Hey,
talk about geek,
hey,
and I can go to bed. How's it going, team?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice show again tonight. I guess I'm just going to announce who won the contest.
Okay.
So that's for one SBD. We have three tied here with Minnow. I'll send because I think you didn't saw what people posted. So
I
that's
saw
what
some of
Minnow.
them. Yep, Zach Galifianakis is. Oh no, sorry.
Uh,
Seth Rogen is a constant.
yeah.
I haven't gotten stopped yet in public and asked if I was Seth Rogen, but it happens. That's one. What
Oh,
else you
you
got?
got. Did you say you got stopped for
Not
from?
yet. I get enough
Okay.
people that when it comes time to for celebrity lookalikes or doppelgangers, he's brought up for me relatively frequently. Um, who else? Who else we got here?
There was Louis C.K.
Yep.
from who was it? Soundwave.
Yeah,
Who?
that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. And the last one was from Shane. So I guess. So congrats to to everyone.
Shane, Shane, you're my biggest fucking hater of the group. God
So
damn it.
so that's good for one SBD for the three of you guys.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to flag Shane for one SPD. Just
I
to
guess.
man. Hey,
All
hey,
right.
Aggie, where did all the voting power on Minnow support go? Oh, well, I guess I did mod abuse and flagged Shane. Hey, you guys. Ugh,
Yeah, that was just too funny. So
that savage bastard.
it's beginning, man. It's only the beginning. You're now the face of Steam It, I guess.
Well,
So
this is what I was saying, like as soon as you say find a doppelganger, this is the kind of shit that you get with whatever his face is. Ugh,
yeah, that was the idea, man.
brutal.
I knew it would be funny, but yeah, those are mostly nice submissions. So
Yeah, Seth Rogen is fine. Louis C.K. is pretty fun. Have you ever heard heard his clip where he asked Donald Rumsfeld point blank, "Are you a reptile?"
yeah, sure.
That skit is so freaking funny. And
Yeah.
one of the funniest parts of it is how he keeps dodging the question. Like he refuses to answer.
Yeah, and Louis CK highlights it too, right? He's like, "Can you fucking answer the question, please,
Yeah.
man?" And so
I gotta go pull it up now. Louis C.K.
yeah, that was pretty epic.
Donald Rumsfeld. Um, let's see. Let's see what this pulls up. As a question for Donald. That's like an hour and 20 minutes. This is. I don't know if this is it. but this looks like a pretty good one. Louis C.K. asked Donald Rumsfeld if he's a
It's
lizard.
interesting though, because there are people who think. I mean, here's a guy who,
I don't know if I
met
can play this.
Eisenhower as a congressman, right?
I was running for Congress, exactly.
And worked for Ford and
No, this is
Nixon
14
and
minutes. We're not going to play this whole thing. But he literally asks him point blank, "Are you a lizard?" And it's freaking hilarious. And the funniest part is how he dodges.
As a good politician, right? Or a good reptile. We don't know.
All right. Team Steem, I gotta crash, but I also have to have this conversation with Ron so people can hear about Geet. So thank you for your contest. I'm grateful to be mocked mercilessly by Shane Welker, and it's wonderful to have you here. I'm sorry to cut it short.
Yeah, cool, man. I'm glad to be here, and it was a nice show again. So I'll be there next Sunday, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you guys enjoy Steam. I guess if you're here, that's a given. So yeah, thanks for having me, Agro.
All right, rock on. See you, team. All right, let me go grab Ron Dude. Ron Dude's going to be the last guest on the show, and then we're calling it quits. So let me pull Ron on air. Ron, you are live on the Minnow Air Town Hall. Can you say hello?
Hey, Agrode.
All right, so you and I went up to New Hampshire. We met with Remy. We saw a Geet engine. We saw. Why don't you tell the audience what you saw and maybe tell them your electrician background?
Well, geez, I don't even know where to start. We need a picture to describe what we saw. I mean, it was a generator that it was actually a really cheap Chicago generator. It's like the ones that they have the warehouses. I don't know. Anyway, it's a cheap brand generator. The guy's had it for like 12 years, and he's running it. Okay, so the exhaust is connected with the intake, and it's also connected to a bottle that sucks air through the bottom like a bong, and then pulls, like, I guess, the vapors of the gasoline through, and runs the engine. And it's a complicated. They have some rod inside that floats while the air is moving. Actually, oh, okay. Ag, why don't you ask me questions about this? I mean, just to describe it in general.
Let me describe it. It is
you
a
understand
cheap-ass generator.
Yeah.
This is an old 12-year-old system, and he's got like a little mason jar. It's actually a pickle jar, and he filled it with gasoline to start it. And he started the engine. The gasoline comes out of that pickle jar. It flows over a metal rod. There's a vacuum that's created in there, so the metal rod is actually allegedly floating in the middle of a reactor.
It's important to distinguish. There's no gasoline coming through there. It's air that is pulled through gas and bubbled through gas that gets pulled through there.
Yeah, it's not a liquid. It is the vapors. So the vapors go over this thing. There's hot fuel going one way, cold fuel going the other. Allegedly, the reactor itself in the middle of this little chamber gets ionized, and we saw it get magnetized. We saw within this thing you could take a compass and move it close to the metal rod, and the metal that had not been magnetized was now magnetized. It had some weirder properties than that I'll show in the video, and so he ran it on pure gasoline for a while. He showed us how it was powering a generator, or the generator was powering an RV. When we pulled load on different things within the RV, you could hear the generator adjust because of the additional load. And then he paused. He turned off the engine. He filled the mason jar, or the pickle jar, up with 50% water, and then he started running it again. And the engine started. The Geet was like allegedly working, and we saw the fuel system running on a 50% water, 50% gasoline mix. Is that Is that all accurate? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, that was. I mean, that's exactly what we saw. The generator was bogged under a load whenever stuff was turned on in the RV, and I hooked my amp meter up to it. It was pulling a load through that generator, so there wasn't any kind of trickery going on. Like I was making sure the trailer was actually being powered by that engine and not just, a fake power cord strung up there, and and then they had something like buried to power it. Because that could totally be pulled off. Some people could just pull a scam, but I don't. And he used that small jar, I guess, is it's available, and I mean it's a big pickle jar, like one you'd see at a bar or something, like a giant pickle jar. But yeah, he you know uh, he epoxied in fittings onto the top of the lid of the jar, where one hose went down to the bottom of the jar, and then there was another at the top to take in the fumes that it pulled through. Um,
So, is it? Do you think that this thing? Were we tricked completely? Was this whole thing a scam? Were these guys charlatans? Did you walk away saying this is total bullshit?
I mean, no. I wish we could have seen it run on pure water, because that's what the whole thing is coming down to. That's what we're trying to get to. So I wish I would have saw that happen today. But the fact that they ran, I mean, I know for a fact there was no other fuel source there. They were only running that through the vapors of the gasoline. Now, I don't know how much gasoline it was actually using. It could be using the exact same amount or even more than it would normally, because that pickle jar did go down quite a bit during the 15 minutes we had it running out there or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
did you notice that, Agro?
I did. It went down. Um, I would guess that was 200 to 300 milliliters of gas water mix that it went down over 15 minutes. And I don't know how to turn that into gallons off the top of my head. And I don't know how to turn that into amount of energy.
Well, I think that was a half-gallon jar. That jar was full, was a 64-ounce jar, I
I know,
believe.
but it wasn't full and it didn't go to empty. So I don't know.
I'm having trouble hearing you here on Discord. You come in loud and clear on the stream, but Discord,
I don't know how to
I don't
answer
know.
that. Anyway, I don't
Um,
I don't think it wasn't full and it didn't go to empty. So it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't like gallons at a time.
no, it used probably, I mean, 20 ounces of gasoline, I would say. I would guesstimate
Yeah.
in
Me
that
too.
time. I, but we'd have to compare it against what it would run normally with a normal setup.
Um,
And are you trying to do convert? Because we can just do that right here in the chat.
yeah. So you said 20 ounces. So you said 568 milliliters. I said 2 to 300. So I mean, like we're in roughly the same. We're in
20
roughly the
ounces is
same.
591.
This thing, fluid ounces imperial. So even the ounces is different.
Oh,
But I don't know. We're talking about milliliter scale. 200 to 600, somewhere in that ballpark. Um, so I mean, and the engine, he was talking about it couldn't get high RPMs. That engine sounded like it was ripping, right?
it sounded healthy. Yeah,
Um,
it it was at a healthy pace, and I mean, sometimes he had to play with the air valve. Like he said, he needs a second carburetor there. But at this point, he's just doing it by hand by cranking a valve open and closed and letting a certain amount of air in at a certain point in the system.
yeah,
And when he got that
he couldn't do it
interior
all
was
on water because he's running this thing with like a lot of manual adjustments because he didn't have a carburetor. Because this guy lives in like a shack up in New Hampshire. He is not a wealthy human being that could go run around and purchase extra carburetors or get all the equipment. I mean, um, when I was in Maine, I saw it running on 80% water and 20% gas. Um, so I don't know. I'd be interested in going to the next step on this, and my wife doesn't seem like she's going to prevent me. So I think we're going to put a generator in, and we're going to make Jeremy rewire that generator. And my first goal is let's go mine some Bitcoin or something with it. If my wife gets nervous about running the house off of this, then that's one thing. But we could go run some heaters cheap to get started, and that would give us a sense of is it working and is it pulling the amps we thought. And I want them to go build it so that there's like a switch where you start it on propane or you start it on not gas, and then after it gets heated up and warmed up, you can switch the fuel over to a pure water mix, or not even a mix, just pure water, and see what that does.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was interesting to see like a 50-50 gas mix, and it was running the engine just the same. Um, it was actually kind of interesting too when he took that fuel rod out. It didn't really run too different, or whatever that rod is. I don't think it's called a fuel rod, is it?
Reactor rod, his metal rod.
Reactor rod, maybe.
I mean, it's
The
literally
little rod
just a
that floats
chunk of
inside of a
steel.
chamber.
Say that again.
Yeah, it's a little rod that floats in the middle of his reactor chamber.
Yep.
And the reactor chamber is just a metal pipe that's now this is actually quite interesting too because it's pulling a vacuum at the bottom of this pipe that's hooked up to the exhaust. It pulls a vacuum that sucks the air from that pickle jar. Then right above where the hose is coming out for that pickle jar is a big gaping hole that the exhaust comes out of, all in the same pipe, which is really, really interesting.
It's weird.
I don't know.
I don't know how you
I
pull a
mean,
vacuum like that.
he's pulling a vacuum while there's air exhausting in a hole right next to it. And yeah, I don't know. When are you going to get that footage up?
Well, I bought Adobe Premiere today, the Elements version. I'm going to go to bed, and then sometime tomorrow I'll post this show, and then I'll also post that video clip and put it together. I think I caught your face on camera while you were outside smoking, so I got to go back through and.
Yeah, you got to edit out my farts too.
I don't know if I can edit out your farts. They're in the middle of important shots.
It's going to be really embarrassing.
Yeah, well, you're a butt farter, and now the whole world is going to know.
Damn it.
So, Ron, are you and I in collusion with one another? Are we giant scammers about to go screw over everybody and fish for upvotes on total bullshit content?
Well, you told me earlier that we weren't supposed to tell them that was a scam until after we got their money.
Well, that's true, but can you answer the question unlike Donald Rumsfeld, who couldn't answer?
Okay. Well, no, I mean, what I actually saw was a engine running on gas fumes and powering our RV to it did a microwave and slid out the little slide pop outs.
And so the weird part of this is that the metal rod on the inside that did not start magnetic after it had been in that reaction chamber was highly ionized, and you could see the compass change direction when it was near the rod. Is that true as well?
Yeah, that rod magnetization was actually quite interesting. And I mean, he explained it that the reason that it's able to break down water into hydrogen and oxygen in order to combust that in the cylinder is because of this reaction rod, that the way the air is pulled both up and down in the same cylinder around this rod, it creates a static friction that ionizes and basically creates electrolysis on the water vapor coming through. And we saw a compass. He moves the compass away. It points to true north, and then he takes the compass and puts it next to the rod, and it would, the top of the rod was north, the bottom of the rod was south, and it was made from rolled steel.
Yeah, not copper. He did it with a glass rod, although it wasn't as ionized. He did it with steel. I mean, what I saw made me think this thing is definitely combusting, and that rod is definitely ionized. Whether or not that means it's a super high efficiency generator, I don't know. The glass even seemed to be partially ionized. The results weren't as clear. When the magnet got close to the rod, it like very noticeably changed direction. When the magnet got close to the glass rod, it looked like it might have been moving. It also could have just been his hand shaking or something, but it looked like it was trying to move on a glass rod, like the glass had somehow gotten slightly ionized. Which
Yeah, I noticed a little jump with it too. It was it didn't look like his hand shook, but then again, it wasn't as conclusive as the metal rod for sure.
Yeah, the metal rod was obvious. There was zero part of me that would be like, I would have thought it was like a magnetized something, you know, like it was a pre-existing magnet. That's how strong it was. Not like, oh, that was an unmagnetized rod. You shoved it in combustion and somehow it got ionized. That's not what I would have expected.
They used glass to insulate telephone pole wires, actually porcelain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm gonna
yeah,
eat Cubby.
I mean,
It's late.
that's really about all I can say without people like actually seeing the video. And once you see the video, then I can
We can
You
talk
know.
about it.
get
All right.
people asking specific questions so I can know exactly what to talk about. Because it's crazy. You look at this thing and it's a contraption that's like it's got pipes everywhere and like hoses clamped to it and valves everywhere and you're looking at this thing and you're just like, what the? I don't know. And to just explain it to somebody, he actually had a hard time. He's been building this stuff for like what 8 years now, and he
Yep.
had a hard time explaining it on the show.
Yep.
Like you got to see it. We got it in 4K.
No, it's just in high def.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. It's on the fancy new camera.
Yep. All right, guys. That's all I got for you tonight. I guess I'll play one song, and it ran on gas and water vapors mixed together. Let me go. I'm gonna play. What do you want, Ron? Am I playing Two Princes? Am I playing Long December, or Standing in a Phone Booth with Money in My Pocket, or something totally different?
Oh, wait, I get to pick?
I'm letting you pick. What's my outro tonight?
Oh, we got to do Two Princes. That's a staple.
All right.
Everyone loves that one.
At the request of Rondon, once again, I bring to you. Oh, can we do Wicked Game? How about that?
We could totally do Wicked Game. Let's do Wicked Game.
Yeah, Chris Isaac. Here we go. All right, this one's for Soundwave Photon. He gets it for having made that totally pimpin'. Actually, I'm gonna go play my Minnow Mayor intro, then I'll play Wicked Game, and I'm not talking after it. We'll just call it quits. Sound all right, Ron?
That sounds great. I'll hand you off.
All right.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
And now, coming to you from the classiest radio station on the air, this is
Minnow Mayor Town Hall.
Yeah, that's dope. All right. Last song, and then we're out of here. Stop.